I absolutely love the Avatar. It is one of my favorite things of all time, honestly. Since I was a child and watched Thing, since, well, honestly, now, even the live adaptation, I would not honestly call it that bad. A 6 out of 10, yes, not too great, but honestly not too bad. Even with the absolutely massive retcons that they did, and character changes that they did, I think it was still worth to watch. And the hottest take that I honestly have, I did not even hate Korra that much. Yeah, gonna just say it outright. I did not hate it that much. Now, granted, I don't think that was definitely the best Avatar that we have had in ever. But it did have a couple of good moments, but it had a couple of really bad moments. The last fight was atrocious, honestly. And when she lost her bending, that was probably some of the poorest writing I have seen in my entire life. Oh, but I am a major Asami simp, so it kind of checks out there, okay? But in any case, we are gonna have a new Avatar TV show, and there are new leaks. The last time we talked about it, it looked bad. It looked really fucking modern dayisms. And how bad? Well, the last time we had leaks about what's gonna happen in Avatar, our main protagonist was gonna be a small, crippled, black lesbian, trans probably also is gonna honestly get put in the mix at some point there, girl. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Except for the trans part, we don't know anything about that. But considering she has a twin, yeah, there's gonna be something strange there happening for sure. Okay. Yeah, that was the last news that we heard, and that is, I don't want that even to be made. I don't care. I don't want that to be made. The premise is absolutely amazing. If you did not know, that, Korra destroys the world as she fucking should because she's a woman that has literally no accountability and has never heard no in her entire goddamn life. Make it make sense. But yeah, the premise is amazing, but I don't want it to be made, okay? Listen, I just don't want to even see it.
In case you didn't know, the next Avatar series got leaked last week and is making some seriously radical changes to the series, and judging by my comment section, the response to this series has been overwhelmingly negative. People have been harassing the original creators on Instagram over these leaks.
Good. I mean, bad, YouTube, bad.
It's just completely absurd. Please don't do that. Obviously, some of this criticism is valid, but the vast majority...
All of this criticism is probably valid if the Avatar is supposed to be a nice, kind thing, and the fact that the fan base of it is just vehemently fighting against whatever it's currently happening means it's gonna be... it means I'm right and it should not be made in the first place.
Majority of it is just people hating just to hate. Honestly, I don't see it. I think the series has a solid chance of being good, and I'm really excited for it. I will be going over why all of the outrage is a bit misguided later, but first I do want to do a quick little recap just so everyone is on the same page. The working title for the series is called Avatar 7 Havens.
Oh god, you can literally see her pig fucking leg. It's been a while. I think this took hold at the time that Diablo 4's new expansion dropped with Mephisto, right? That now it's not enough that your main character is a powerful, diverse female of color and shit. Now they also need to be crippled. Missing an arm, missing a leg, something like that. This is just stupid.
Direct sequel to The Legend of Korra. Poor Korra, you get enough hate as is, but for whatever reason, she is forced to destroy the world, which is
god, this is one of those great moments of Korra, where, no, this is, I I guess the blast counts. Like, Korra is ridiculously overpowered. This looks more like a shonen, honestly, at the end.
Is forced to
And
destroy
this is not the end, by the way, which is mega sad.
the world, which ends up creating an apocalyptic wasteland. After this cataclysmic event, people take refuge in shanty towns called havens. I want to emphasize that the setting from what we've seen is not modern apocalyptic, like Fallout, but more fantastical and low-tech. These aren't just called havens, they are literal havens from the wastelands. Anyone with bending is drafted into the military to fight against the violent lightning storms and sandstorms generated by it. The new avatar, or should I say avatars, are the 9-year-old twins Pavi and Nisha, who both actually have the capability to bend all 4 elements. Now, these leaks have come from a variety of different sources.
Oh, this is a little bit different than I remember it initially. Only the girl was supposed to be the avatar, but then there's a part that they probably fuse and make a hermaphrodite at the end. You know it.
Including 2 younger kids that were part of an audience testing that took photos and video evidence of what they were seeing. The other leaks come from a 4chan user who was probably a Paramount employee or an intern or someone who was close to the show's production who just decided to leak everything. He leaked concept art, reference images, storyboards, audition scripts. The leaks are almost as 100% real as you can get. You can look up the code name of the series and find people who have been working on it for years. You can also find public casting calls all the way back from last year, which
Oh, I have not seen this, but I imagine you're gonna have some crazy people.
Match everything from the leaks. So either this was the most elaborate hoax of all time with thousands of dollars spent, or this is real. Anyway, like I said earlier, the response on the internet has been horrible, but I wanted to take a stand today and defend the show, something that no one else is doing, and I want to point out why maybe changing these things could actually end up being a good thing. From all of the feedback that I've seen, I'd say people are most concerned about the twin avatars breaking the established lore, but this isn't necessarily the case.
Okay, I'm pretty sure no one's actually saying twin avatar is bad, okay?
Saying this broke the lore is like saying Rava and Vatu broke the pre-established lore, because Roku,
I mean, let's be real, Korra just wanted to be real fucking special, so they kind of fucked a lot of things.
who credits the glow or the avatar state to the combination of all the past avatars working together. Obviously, we learn in Korra that this is actually caused by the light spirit Rava inhibiting the avatar. A similar thing could easily be done with the twin avatars.
Yeah, that's not a retcon at all, by the way. Not a retcon in the slightest.
Where the lore changes for whatever reason. Now, I know what you're all commenting. I get it, man. You're gonna bring up that Roku had a twin brother, and he wasn't the avatar. This is a weird argument to bring up for a few different reasons. Mainly, Roku is a Wan era avatar. Korra changed everything as the avatar. The past lives are gone, and she literally absorbed Vatu. These implications alone bring up so many different avenues to explain why there's 2 avatars now. I'm not gonna be diving deep into this video why there's 2 avatars. I did that in my last video, so if you want to learn more about that after this one, go check that out. If you're willing to give twin avatars a chance, there is a ton of ways this could be done well and interesting.
I really don't think anyone has a problem with the avatars being twins too much, honestly, at this point. In the comments, if you don't like it, and if you don't like it, by the way, I'm fine with you not liking this idea of twin avatars. It does seem a little bit, at the very minimum, contrived for no fucking reason. Just to make a hermaphrodite at the end when they inevitably, obviously, fuse, because both of them have a part of Rava, that's why they're not whole, and then, congratulations, Pingina. Very modern day.
It could easily hit a lot of interesting story beats. For example, what if one twin is loved and the other isn't? What if one is stronger than the other? How will this affect them? How will this affect the world? What if the twins split up and now we can follow 2 different heroes' journeys? There's so many different scenarios that could happen, and having 2 main protagonists helps break up the whole chosen one thing that the previous series had. The most likely scenario here, at least in my opinion, is that Pavi is the light avatar and Nisha will be the dark avatar. But that doesn't mean one of the avatars has to be evil. At the end of the day,
But of course not. Why would we add complexity? Ugh.
Vaatu is just chaos. He himself may not like humans, and he did corrupt spirits specifically to attack humans, but that has nothing to do with the Dark Avatar. Now wait, before I lose you, I wouldn't just make that claim out of nowhere. In the shadow of Kyoshi, Avatar Karuk tells Kyoshi about
Wait, that kind of... Why would, in that case, still they be twins? Wouldn't that mean that one can... Okay.
spirit possession, and how spirits can possess and merge with human bodies, but the human will remain in complete control of their action and thoughts. At the end of the day, Unalaq was evil because he was evil, and not because Vaatu made him evil. One question I've seen asked over and over...
Yeah, Unalaq is a great villain, obviously, by the way. So much fucking death. Yeah, this is also one of my biggest fears, except for the trans crippled girl, obviously, being our main protagonist. It's the fact that there's no objective evil left, and when you look back at the original Avatar cartoon, all of those characters had complexity. All of those characters had growth, trials, tribulations that they had to overcome and shit. And now you just don't have it? Now, I mean, what are the chances that some modern day idiots are going to be able to write a complex story of anything? I don't think so.
Over again is, who is this series even for? And I get it. I really do. A lot of people are afraid that this show is going to be too kiddie. I've even seen people say, just send this to Nick Jr. already. I don't want it. They think the show is going to be like a baby show. I understand this concern because Korra was a lot more mature than Atla, with many infamous and memorable scenes like Zahir killing the Earth Queen, Korra being poisoned and borderline tortured, and Plea's head literally exploding. But
this was so good.
Oh no, Atla, despite being a kid show,
also Plea was trash. Fight me.
Still had plenty of...
You know who wasn't trash? Mommy right there. That's right.
His head literally exploding. But as we all know, Atla, despite being a kid's show, still had plenty of dark...
Wait, do I only like Korra because of the gooning? Huh. Shit. Maybe.
Undertones, the war itself, Zuko being brutalized by his own father, the mass slaughter of the air nomads. Realistically speaking, Pavi and Nisha aren't that much younger than Aang, just a couple of years. I have a really hard time imagining that they would just regress this show to be more kiddie than Atla, especially considering we already know the world is going to be post-apocalyptic and there's a military draft happening. On the other hand, one of the kids that posted leaks to...
I mean, you can make everything kiddie or non-kiddie, doesn't matter the setting or whatever.
Reddit said, and I quote, "The show seems to be aimed at kids but can still be enjoyed by adults." But that very same quote can be applied to...
I mean, that's what made Avatar so successful in the first place, I honestly think. The fact that you enjoyed it as a kid, but adults enjoyed it as adults. And when you became an adult, you still could easily enjoy it because the show was great, okay? It had the appeal and, you know, not serious tone in the front, but it had the actual tribulations and stuff at the end. Well, not at the end, but deeper inside. That's what made it great, okay? This is true for all kids shows, by the way, that are good. A good kids show is going to be enjoyed by adults.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. There are plenty of shows out there involving children that are mature, such as Stranger Things, and there are real benefits to having child main characters. If you want to play with themes of maturity or growing up, it could be that Pavi and Nisha have to grow up really fast considering the harsh world they live in and the difficult responsibility they've...
And Aang didn't?
Been handed. As for who this show is really for, is it for a new generation of fans or is it for fans of the previous shows? Realistically, there are arguments for both sides. Avatar Studios has made concerted efforts to introduce kids to Aang. I mean, who else could this Roblox game be for? But also, hopefully, they know that a huge portion of their existing audience are now adults and they wouldn't enjoy something too kiddie. So, the four nations are gone and I think that's okay. The first and most important thing I want to acknowledge is that the four nations aren't actually gone. In one piece of concept...
Yeah, that's true. Obviously, they're not gone. You know, by the way, what always made me question what the hell is happening with Avatar It's the fact that how the hell is it possible that you have travel between countries in Avatar, even in Aang's time, but Earth Nation has Earthbenders and Fire Nation has Firebenders. You don't you think like Airbenders and shit should have been born in the Fire Nation and vice versa? But in the Avatar universe, it kind of really seems that each region is just responsible for a element, and that's kind of I feel that's something that could be explored in the Avatar series. Like, why are air nomads not, well, they would be just called airbenders, not born in the southern or western poles or any of that? Or, vice versa. Why is everyone just born in the in the exact place? It's kind of really strange. And every time you see someone who is not, for example, an earthbender from the Earth Kingdom, they traveled there. There's always that explicit thing. Oh, I wasn't born here. I traveled here.
Concept art, we could see Pavi near ruins of what is clearly Omashu. So while the four nations as governing
I guess I see it.
entities no longer exist, their presence in history will still be in the series. So if you're worried that they effectively just wipe the slate clean, that's not actually true. I want you guys to think about realistically what a show set in the Four Nations after Atla would look like. We have already gotten that show. It was called The Legend of Korra, and Korra did next to nothing with the setting of Avatar. So much of Korra was set in Republic City, and that was actually a borderline necessity. Atla has already told so many stories in the Four Nations that it's hard to have new stories in that setting without just repeating the same old stuff we've seen before. If they tried to redo that stuff with Korra, it wouldn't have been good a second time. It would have just felt like a hollow callback. Maybe it would have worked if the Atla world was bigger than what we saw in the original show, but as far as I know, we essentially saw the entire world. I mean, look at this map, man. The Atla world is tiny. This is the same reason why I think a post-apocalyptic setting is a nice change of pace.
I mean, yeah, that is actually kind of a point. But this is not the original map, is it? Look like it. Bossing Say is at... Is this?
Change of pace. You see, the Wastelands and the Havens, we've never seen any stories told with them before. There are a lot of opportunities here for some really cool adventures and new lore. We'll get to see how the people of the Avatar world adapt to such a drastic change in their environment, and this is just my...
They don't adapt. They're literally dying. The Avatar's idea... The show's main premises is kind of save everyone before everyone dies, because yeah, it's only a matter of time before everyone dies.
My personal feelings, but if this means we're returning to a more low-tech setting, I'm all here for it. I was never the biggest fan of Korra's Industrial Revolution setting. I think bending just works better with the fantasy/magic setting, which it's looking like this could be. The point is, this is still going to be Avatar, and the history of Avatar is still going to be there. Who knows, maybe there's even going to be a plot point about trying to rebuild that. Does Seven Havens retroactively ruin the achievements of Aang and Korra? This is a take I've seen a lot, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised anyone would say this. It's like people have this idea.
I don't know. I'm not following, honestly, any of these things. The main thing literally here is the fact that the show just could be woke shit. That is it. None of anything else here is even remotely bothering me. Nor I think people are actually going to be, thinking that this is, like, a bad thing. Because you can make Avatar in any direction that you want. You can make, like, a show about we already know the first half. Man, Korra did destroy a lot, huh? But, you can make a show about the second Avatar or some shit like that before the Avatar thing was established in the normal world. There are so many options.
That after Korra or Atla, that the world should just be perfect forever, no more bad things ever again. No Avatar has ever had total peace in their time. There have been periods of peace, but at the end of the day, there is always new problems and new threats to deal with.
Peace
There's multiple
just
books
an
out there
illusion,
of
eh?
previous Avatars, and surprise, surprise, there's serious conflicts in the world. Aang inherited the problems of Roku's era. Korra inherited the problems of Aang's era. Clearly, you can see the trend here. Pavi and Nishi Anisha are going to be inheriting the unsolved problems of Korra's era. That's just how storytelling works. If there are no conflicts, no problems, like what, you want to see.
Well, that's actually not true. They're not gonna inherit shit problems of whatever magical era, because the idea is one of the big twists in this Avatar series is supposed to be the fact that everyone hates the Avatar. Like, if you're the Avatar, well, you're getting executed. Yeah, you're getting killed, buddy. It doesn't matter if you're a child. Well, effectively, the Avatar's always going to be a child, I guess. But you're getting executed, my dude. Sorry, not sorry. You kind of blew up the world. Fuck off.
Pavi and Nisha sitting around on their iPad all day. A lot of fans have especially taken issue with the whole Korra destroyed the world thing, and yeah, I know.
Seems on point. Korra is a woman.
I'm not the biggest fan of that personally, but I think it's important to keep in mind that this doesn't.
Also, there's gonna be some kind of twist. Oh, Korra destroyed the world because it needed to happen, or it was an accident. She was fighting the real fight. In space. In space.
Necessarily mean that Korra's the worst avatar or evil or anything like that. My understanding is that Korra was forced to destroy the world. This could mean a lot of different things. This could mean it wasn't her decision. This could mean maybe if she didn't do this, all of humans would have gone extinct. Basically, maybe she did a.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, everyone knows they're gonna be like, "Oh, Korra had to destroy the world." Korra's never gonna be blamed for shit. She's gonna be the silent superhero. Anyway, that was the Avatarist. Yay, trans, whatever. Ooh.